morning. It is a weekday morning and I am just getting ready for work. And I thought as I was getting ready, I would just do a quick chatty catch up with me. I feel like I've had a lot of changes, a lot of things going on in my life. And I just thought, why not update you and have a chat with you about it? So I don't actually have very long, so I'm going to get ready very quickly and just chat to you while I do. So as you probably have seen, I have had about 1,000,001 jobs within the year. I've tried so many different things. So I've now got that sorted. I've had some health issues. So I think we'll just dive into it, to be honest. So me as a person, you probably know me by now, a bit chaotic, a bit all over the place. I don't talk about my main job on this channel purely because it's the type of industry it is. I don't want to mix my topic and that industry, so I just strictly keep it separate. I do post about both on my LinkedIn and Instagram, but I just feel like because I talk about them both in one video, on Instagram I can do it in like 2 separate posts, but because I talk about both of the industries in one video, I just don't feel it's right to mention what my main job is. But I have always wanted to be within the media industry. I have worked for 4 years to get a job within this industry. I worked for a long time just doing jobs just to kind of find a backup if it doesn't work out. And then I got a job at a wedding venue. Sorry, my hair is so annoying. And at the wedding venue, I ended up staying there for 2 years. So I worked a couple of jobs, tried to get a job in the media, couldn't get a job in the media, so decided to just find a career that could be a good backup because I knew it was going to take a while. Got the job in the hotel, loved it, and thought, you know what, wedding coordination could be a plan B for me. It's brilliant. Amazing. So I did that for 2 years and then I got a job with an influencer. Didn't quite work out, so then I was out of a job for a while. Now, because I was out of a job, I was working with my partner's mum, my dad's business. You may have seen a previous video where I kind of explained this a little bit as well. And I'm really grateful that both of them needed my help within their businesses that they own during that time. And then throughout that time, I was just trying to keep continuing to build within the media sector, but also also just finding a job again, like within another industry if I could. I then landed a job in the job I am in now, but unfortunately it is a freelance role, which means that I don't have regular shifts, I don't have regular work, and it is all a bit up and down throughout the year. So I got a job doing this freelancing and I absolutely love it. It's in my career, my dream career. I absolutely have to be on it and be like, yes, I can turn up whenever they kind of need me. But obviously that does come with its difficulties. So I continued to work with my dad and my other half's mum for a while I was kind of freelancing with them. Got loads of shifts with them, so then I stopped doing both of those and I've just come in and out of doing both jobs with them. And I've also tried to find another job that works around that job. Now, I've probably had about 10 jobs to do that throughout this year and none of them have worked. So unfortunately, the beauty of the industry is they call me and they need me, and most jobs will obviously not like me to be like, I can't come in today because, you know, whoever it's called. But I literally had a conversation yesterday with a lady and she basically kind of owns her own small business. She needs a little PA to work around her hours. She needs someone completely freelance. And I was like, perfect, I can do that. So I have now sorted out my job in terms of that. So I've got lots of freelance work. I've got freelance work with the media industry, and I actually got offered a really exciting role within that the other day, which is super exciting, but again, it's still freelance. And then I've got this PA kind of job to cover, and then occasionally if my dad or my other half's mum needs me as like sick cover, or, you know, my dad needs me to hold the ladder when he's painting and decorating, then I can do that as well. As much as I would quite like to get rid of my dad and my other half's mum, because obviously it's not what I want to do, you know, if I can be of help to them and they can, you know, pay me whatever it is to do the job, they'd rather pay me than somebody else. So that is kind of my career at the moment. I'm continuing to network, but I really didn't want to do something that just also was just a job. I wanted to still be able to enjoy the role, because I think that's really important. And I know for a fact, me being me, I will put so much pressure on my career getting everything right if I tried to do a part-time job that I hated. And so I still wanted to kind of enjoy it. I didn't want to rely on both my other half mum and my dad. So yeah, there was just a lot to it that I felt like this was the best course of action for me to find something else. And I'm really, really happy with how that's kind of come to be. And I also wanted something to be mine and my own and that I've done myself. But hopefully within the next year, I won't have to do any of those, because obviously I will be doing what I want to do. But that is quite an unrealistic expectation sometimes. So anyway, so that kind of is my main update for career. I feel like I'm finally settled within that, and I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really pleased with where I am. Other than that, I've basically had a bit of a reset throughout May, kind of like sorting out my life admin, you know, paying things I needed to pay, and just getting loads of stuff done. So as I come into June, I can really have like a proper reset. I go away for 4 days at the end of June with some friends. It was a really cheap holiday because we've got so many of us going. And I am really super excited to go. And I wanted to kind of come back and then like have a reset. So I've changed my routines. I've got a regular routine going. I've got all of my finances sorted. And I'm really, really pleased. And obviously the new job as well, which does coincide with the fact that I've had some health issues. So to put it bluntly, I've got a couple of health things that have happened that I'm absolutely fine, by the way. They thought it was scary and it was all like, you're going to die. And then they realised it wasn't that scary at all. And it was just something else, which is fine. So I've had a couple of those and I've still got those, kind of just getting rid of those now. And then I've also had a problem with my breathing. So something you may or may not know is that I suffer with asthma. And I've suffered with asthma for pretty much my entire life, since I was about 10. And I was really, really poorly. To cut a long story short, I thought I had a chest infection. The doctor told me there was nothing wrong with me. I still was feeling so unwell, and I was literally like, what is wrong with me? Like, I just don't feel myself at all. My partner was like, you have to go back. I went to like a few different doctors, and they basically told me I'd ruptured my breathing pattern. Basically, over time, where I've not managed my anxiety or my asthma very well, I've like caused myself to stop breathing at certain times of the day. And while my oxygen levels are okay, obviously, as you can imagine, it's not normal to not breathe. So I've also had to have this reset to kind of take my life seriously a little bit and slow down. I have to do, you know, some steps a day to make sure that I'm getting in enough steps and managing my breathing while walking. I've had to make sure I'm talking slower, which I'm finding really difficult because I've always learned how to talk fast. And basically, it's just been a whole change of routine and change of reset. So I've had to kind of reset my whole life because of that, which sounds really bloody dramatic, but it is very true. But unfortunately, that just is the way it is. So that is kind of really the update. I'm still doing my Tropic, still using that as a combination. The combination of that and the PA is a really good way for me to make extra money, but fit it around my time. By the way, excuse the fact that my hands are awfully tanned. My tan's beautiful, but whenever I tan my hands, I use the Skin Shade, but what I did, the Summer Skin, which is like the gradual tanner. But what I realised was my hands were super dry because I've had really super dry hands because of the change of weathers, and this is what happens. So make sure your hands are moisturised before you do it. But yeah, I've just had to reset my life, and to be honest, I'm kind of glad because it's meant that I could really just focus. And I feel like a year of me working on trying to find a work and all this sorts of stuff, it's been chaotic. I've not taken care of myself. So I've got good routines in, good healthy stuff in, good balance in. And the things that I'm kind of working on now is finding kind of new friendships. Love my friends to death. But they are a friendship group with me and my other half, and they are very much like, we have fun and that's kind of it. We don't really talk about anything. So if I did have an issue, I wouldn't phone them. So I would like to find like a kind of girl group that I would call in those sort of situations, and also would go out for drinks with me. So I could just be like, hey, do you want to FaceTime? Or hey, do you want to go out for some drinks tonight? Those type. I want my girls, because I haven't had a girl group in a really long time. So I'm going to put myself out there and do some things that I enjoy, and hopefully meet some new people as well with that. And that's kind of the main thing I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, that is pretty much me. Job sorted, resorting my life, and now my goal is to try and find some new friendships, and that's pretty much it. I've reset. I will obviously show you my new routines within videos and vlogs, and I'm still going to be vlogging and doing all these things, but I just thought I'd give you an update that now I've got my main job, my PA job to kind of cover when I'm not doing that, and my topic, and I'm really, really pleased because I think this is finally the one that's going to help, and my health is getting sorted. So I'm going to take a deep breath, go to work, and I hope you have a brilliant day. See you later. Bye.